Good afternoon, everyone. It is the 9th of August 2023, and I am happy to share that the Skull-N-Bonez ML electric guitar build is in the drawing phase. Yeah. It took a couple attempts. The first attempt just wasn't right. It just, things I even tried to fix it a little bit, but then I just decided just to redraw it, and it made it a little bit smaller. This version was just a hair too big and everything wasn't fitting correctly. But yeah, we're gonna go with an active EMG pickup in the bridge. Oh, I forgot to put the volume. Gonna have the one volume knob roughly there. That's where I got the hole for it, and just a silver chrome volume. We're gonna use the 9-volt battery in the back. Probably going to go with the Jackson style input bridge, or the Fender style input bridge. Licensed Floyd Rose. Very cool. I've got some really cool ideas for this one. Here's all the other parts that I'm considering using as far as truss rod covers and all that other stuff. But yeah, just wanted to share it's in the drawing phase, and it's very cool. I've been going by the drawings that I acquired online, and there's a few. If you've seen the post on there on Facebook, then you've seen that I'm going by these pictures. That's what I'm basing my version on, changing it up a little bit ever so slightly. But yeah, as you can see, the top layer is just going to be the bone bits, and the bottom two layers, well, the bottom one layer looks like, well, I'll figure that out. Probably for the skull, it's going to be the 2 layers on the top, and the 3rd layer is going to be without the skull. But it seems like the hand bits and everything like that, I might just do the top layer, just a single layer, but we'll see. But very cool. Yeah, I'm not going to go with the coil split, or looks like he's got an on-off switch there on his version, which I guess I could have left to do that. I don't know, we'll see. But this is just the preliminaries of how it's going to look. I think it's going to be very cool. Of course, flat black with all the shaded parts, and then white, just like the pictures that I'm showing that I found. And he's done several versions of this guitar, so I'm just kind of going based on the pictures that I found online that he's done. So yeah, very cool idea, very cool shape. I like that. Very cool. Hopefully I can replicate something similar to this with the Jackson. This is the neck I'm going to use, and of course flat black with my logo on the front. But yeah, alright, hope everybody's having a good center of the week, and hopefully I'm going to cut this wood pretty soon. Probably cut the 3 layers of plywood and then figure it out. So we'll just take it day by day and just kind of work it as we come across. That's how we do it. We do it on the fly. But yeah, it's going to be very awesome. And it's roughly the same size as an Explorer, and so very cool. All right, like I said, hope everybody's having a good day, and we will see you soon. Very cool. Skull-N-Bonez ML electric guitar build. Drawing phase. All right, see you soon. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? It's the 10th of August 2023, and it's time to start working on the Skull-N-Bonez ML electric guitar build. And I've decided I need 3 pieces here of 16.5 by 24, and so I've got a bunch of pieces I'm going to try to mend together to try to accomplish this. So I'm going to get three pieces with this shape, or with that size and this thickness. So let me work on that, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, condense the wood. I joined some pieces together on the bottom 2 layers, so I got the proper shape. I've got 16.5 by 24 inches, so that's going to be good for the shape. And I've decided that I'm going to carve into the wood all the recessed parts. On the last one I did Luan, and that's what raised. But I think because the body here is going to be somewhat thicker, because it's going to have the Floyd Rose, and it's got to have room for the spring cavity, I'm going to go ahead and Dremel down all the bits that are not the bone bits. So it's going to be kind of tricky, but you know, it's going to look really good. All right, so let me get the I've got the shape, or the cutout. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the cutout. Yeah, so very cool. go ahead and, whoo, did I measure incorrectly? Let me see. Oh, I'll be right back. Alright, actually, just the right size. Perfect size. So, alright, so let me figure out where I'm going to have the temporary screws. I think one here, one probably there, one somewhere in this vicinity, maybe there, and maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Alright, we'll see a little bit. Alright, got the 3 sheets temporarily fixed together with 4 screws. And I got the shape traced out on the top piece. So we're going to go ahead and get the scroll saw out and carefully cut out the shape on all 3 pieces, and we'll see in a bit. Alright, quick update. Perfect cut out of the shape. And it looks pretty awesome. That does look pretty cool. Alright, conclusion of today's progress on the Skull-N-Bonez ML electric guitar build. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's going to be pretty amazing. Very cool. I guess the next step is going to be go ahead and start drumming out some of these bits tomorrow. Yeah. I think I'm going to drummel down probably about, I don't know, somewhere close to 1/8 of an inch. All the black parts. Very cool. Alright. I hope everyone's having a good day. It's going to be a very cool build. Very cool. The bones. Alright, we'll see you in a little bit. Good morning, 24th of August 2023. We've got a cloudy day. It's hot, but we got sun but clouds, so it's not too bad. Time to continue work on the Skull-N-Bonez ML electric guitar build. Today, hopefully, what I got planned is to dremel all the bits, but before that, let me go ahead and figure out the layers. I'm just going to do the top 2 layers. I'm going to cut the bottom layer. I'm going to cut it the ML shape. So I've got it roughly drawn out. So let me go ahead and then I'm going to glue the 2 top layers together prior to the dremeling of all the bits. So it's going to be very cool. But alright, fingers crossed. We'll see in a little bit, get some progress. Perfect. I drilled the opening right there that I forgot to do the last time, and I cleaned up the parts, and I figured out exactly where the bottom layer is going to go. So let me go ahead and separate all the pieces and then take out for all these bits that the bottom layer is not going to have. Alright, we'll see. I got the parts separated. I'm going to glue the top 2 layers together, but let me first do the scroll saw. I'm going to cut out for all the bits. So very cool. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, and we'll see in a bit. Alright, quick update. I got all the bits taken off, and it's the standard customary ML shape. Very cool. Of course, I'll get some Bondo body filler and fill all the good spots. And this knot's gonna be etched out by the cavity, spring cavity for the Floyd Rose. So very cool. Alright, and I did a little sanding on it. Perfected, of course. Alright, so now I'm gonna reattach all the pieces and make sure. I'm gonna dremel the edge here with my router bit and make it a real nice smooth. So let me go ahead and reattach all 3 pieces, and I'll see you in a bit. Got all 3 pieces reattached. Alright, so now I'm going to recorrect where the pieces meet. Make sure I get all that dialed in. You see how this is a little different, and then see how that's a little different as well. So get all those bits dialed in perfectly, and then I'll see you when I get that done. You see what I mean? I'm going to have to recut that for the, and then recut that and all these bits. Alright, see you in a bit. Quick update, I re-corrected all the bits. Looks pretty awesome. All the little bits made it all continuity perfectly. Alright, that's pretty awesome. Alright, let me, I think it'd be okay to separate the 2 parts now. And then I'm going to start working on the Dremel bits. Dremel down probably about 1/8 of an inch, all the darker areas. So it'd be pretty cool. Probably take a while. And then on the back bit, I'll round the edges. So start working on that. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the top 2 pieces together, and I'll see when I get that done. See you in a bit. Alright, got the top rounded off and all the, yeah, it's rounded on. All it's sweet, and I'll perfect that. And that's the very bottom piece. Alright, let me set that aside for now, and now we're gonna break back out the top piece and start dremeling all the bits. This is going to be the very fun, intense part. So all the parts that are black, I'm going to Dremel down, like I said, about 1/8 of an inch. So, all right, fingers crossed, let me get some progress done there. All right, quick update. Whew, had some work to that. I went ahead and did the dremeling bits. Clean up my mess, and then I'll show you better inside. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then we'll make it deeper if necessary. But now we just have the basics of where everything is at. So very cool. I think I'm gonna go with flat white on this one instead of gloss white. So it's very cool. So, all right, we're getting there. All right, I'll see you when I clean up everything. See you in a bit. One more quick update. Battery's running low. I just wanted to show you real quick. Very cool. All right, and we will see you soon. Yeah, awesome. We're getting there. All right, see you in a bit. Good morning, 15th of August 2023. Time to continue work on the Skull-N-Bonez ML guitar build. I recall what we completed yesterday. I decided I'm going to go a little bit deeper on all the Dremel bits. I know it's going to be a problem, or not a problem, but it kind of, a tedious thing to do. But I think it just looked better if the bits were a little bit deeper, so, or a little bit more pronounced. So looks pretty cool. But let me start working on that slow and steady and kind of get that going. All right, we'll see you in a bit. Alright, successful. It's taken a while, but successful lowering of the initial etching. Looks pretty cool. There's some spots, of course, that were weak wood that I'll have to fix, but no problem. Be easily fixed. But yeah, I just wanted to show you how I went deeper with all the Dremel bits. That way it's more predominant, and I like that so much better than the way it was. Alright, so I guess the next step is going to be to figure out how deep each of the other bits are going to be. I want the fingers to go all the way through, but we'll see. Because then we're going to have to cut for the, install the neck and all the, start the process of building the guitar. So, because I just wanted to get this basic setup of all the etchings prior to that. That way, I've got the posts for the bridge and set all that up, and then cut for the pickup cavity and all that good stuff. So, all right, so let me go figure out. I think the next step is probably going to be to cut out for the neck pocket. So let me get all that set up. And where you got some major shade, which is the sun, is under the tree, so it feels pretty good out here. It's not as miserable as it was earlier. So, and of course we'll perfect all the etchings as we go, because we're going to do the wood grain filler and the ugly face part 1 and 2 and all that good stuff. But we got some really solid wood there for the bridge to get into. So, all right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, very cool. Figuring out where the neck pocket's going to be cut, and I'm dialing in the shape of the neck pocket, and that's basically going to be it, and roughly the intonation line right there. So let me go ahead and get all that worked out, and then have all three pieces. And as you can see, I got to trim just a little bit. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. All right, awesome. I got a neck tendon cut out, and I'm going to go ahead and glue it in, because I think I did a string test with the bridge and some posts, and so let me do that. I'll be right back. All right, got all pieces fastened together. I got the neck pocket dialed in. I think I know exactly where it's going to fall, right where my line should be. So let me go ahead and install the neck, and I'll see you in a little bit. Update, I got the neck pocket, I got the neck plate installed, the neck installed, but I set my insulation lines, and I'm checking all my spacings, and I think we're dead on perfect. So we're good to go as far as everything is concerned. So that's going to be good. That's basically where everything's going to sit. Very cool. Let me go ahead and I guess we can figure out, let me do another string test, and then go ahead and install the post for the bridge and see how we are. So I'll see you when I get that done. But let me show you how the neck turned. Very cool. Yeah. Man, look at that. That is just, whew, that's cool. Very cool. That ML shape. Very sweet. Yeah, I got the neck pocket dialed in. And I like that fact that I'm using a Jackson style neck. Normally this is kind of a Dean shape, I guess, the ML shape. but this is a little bit modified. So I like using the shark tooth inlay and the Jackson style reverse headstock. So that's going to be really cool. But yeah, all right. So that's pretty cool. Let me figure out if I've got the neck where I need it, and then we can go ahead and install the bridge. See how that goes. All right, we'll see in a little bit. Get all my string tests, and I got where I want to drill out for my posts right there, and then I've got a a guide hole, that way it doesn't go wrong. And this is the proper bit for the posts. I'm going to use these really good posts right here. So I'm going to go ahead and fingers crossed drill them out, and we'll see in a bit. Alright, successful installation of the post, and we are dialed in as far as action, height, and everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and mark where I'm going to put my block opening for the bridge. So let me go ahead and get that going, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, got marked out where I'm going to cut for the block opening. Right there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it goes well. So first I'm going to get the appropriate bit and drill me some pilot holes. Then I'm going to get the scroll saw back out and then cut through all layers for that, and then we'll see how we did. Alright, we'll see you in a bit. I drilled some pilot holes, so it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead, I got the scroll saw, I'm going to cut this very carefully. Fingers crossed, we'll see you in a bit. Very cool. Perfect cutout for the block of the bridge. Let me go ahead and reassemble the bridge and see how we did as far as everything's lined up. Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Quick update, I've got the bridge dialed in perfectly and it floats real good. I'll show you that in a bit. Now I'm figuring out the spring cavity, so I'm going to go ahead and draw this out, and then I'm going to get the scroll saw back out, and then actually we're going to do it with the Dremel tool, that's right. So let me draw out where I want to put the spring cavity, and we'll see in a bit. Alright, got the spring cavity drawn out exactly where I want it to be. Looks pretty flush, looks pretty even. Alright, so let me disassemble everything and then we'll start working on that. See you in a bit. But before I dismantle everything, I wanted to mark out where I'm going to put the pickup. So I got the pickup cavity marked up right there. And I think that's enough. It's going to have way enough girth, so it's not going to affect the bridge posts at all. So fingers crossed on that one. So, alright, sounds good. Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Alright, successful cutout for the spring cavity, and I'll show you all that when I get to it. Alright, got clouds rolling in again. I got rained on earlier. I had to run for cover. But let me go ahead. Like I said before, I drew out where the input or the pickup cavity is going to be. So let me get out the scroll saw again, and then let's go ahead and cut that out. We'll see in a bit. Alright, successful installation of the pickup. Can't talk. Pickup cavity installation, and I actually put a little bit of a floor on this one. That way it'll have a little bit more support. So I did the floor, and then I left the opening for the ground, the wire. But yeah, it's very cool, and that should be plenty of room, because I think it's the pickup's going to be up about a good centimeter or two at least. So plenty of room to go as low as it can go there. So with the spring and everything like that. So alright. Figure out what the next step is. Probably turn it over and start figuring out the wiring. I drilled all the way through all 3 layers for the pedometer, and it's gonna have the 1 volume knob. So alright, and we'll see in a bit. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it quits for today. It's getting like 6 o'clock. It's starting to cloud up again, and I'm just like been at it all day. So alright, we got a lot done today. We got some significant progress. So alright, so let me clean up my extensive mess. And I might do another video later, or, well, probably not, because I mean, yeah. Alright, so this will be it for today, and then tomorrow we'll work on the 9-volt battery compartment, all the wiring, and finish the spring cavity, make sure all that's dialed in. But alright, ooh, that's a pretty intense one, but I think overall the end result is going to be amazing. So alright, we'll see you soon. Good morning. It's August 16th, 2023. Time to continue working on the Skull-N-Bonez ML guitar. Okay, we're gonna start figuring out the wiring, figure out the input jack situation. I'm gonna make these bone bits shallower. I'm gonna Dremel these, work on the overall, figure out battery compartment, try to get to the glue phase today, and try to just try to get through and try to get as much progress done as possible. It's a bright and sunny day, but it's a noticeably cooler day here in Central Florida. It's like in the 70s, almost hitting 80. Normally by this time it's in the 90s or pushing 100, which is really not fun when you're out here working in direct sunlight. Got this, I used to have if you recall back in the day, I used to have an umbrella that sat right here, but the powers that be took it down, and now a direct sun is what I have. So just have to roll with the punches, deal with what you deal with. But yeah, made a lot of progress yesterday, so let me work on some wiring, draw it up, and see how actually let me Dremel these bits first, because then I'm thinking about doing jacks, title input jack right here, but this has to be thinner on this side. So alright, let's work on that and I'll see you in a bit. Dremel down the little bits, the little tailbone sections, the rib sections, and the little ribs on the sides. So I Dremel down, that looks pretty cool. That's about the right thickness and consistency. So let me figure out the wiring. Let me draw that up and I'll see you in a bit. Quick update, I've got all the wiring complete. I figured out the wiring, pretty simple, from pedometer, and then the ground wire is going to come through there also, all the way to the input jack. I got the input jack dialed in on both layers. Looks pretty awesome. I'll show you that in a bit. And I cut the opening for the pedometer cavity, and so now I'm gonna figure out where the 9-volt battery compartment's gonna go. We're going with these, really cool shallow battery compartment, and I'm thinking maybe somewhere like there. That way it's close to everything, and bada boom bada bing right to there. I think that would be good, and it would clear, not be in the way of the back, the spring cavity cover or the pedometer cover, which I'll make those two today. And hopefully we'll go for a glue face here shortly. But yeah, let me figure this out and I'll see you in a bit. Decided I want to put the 9-volt battery compartment right there. And I drew out roughly where the back spring cover cavity is going to go. Back axis panel plates for both, and so I think that'd be really cool. Input jack, still determined where the strap button is going to go, because it can't go on the fin because I made the back the breastbone thinner, so we'll figure that out. I mean, it'll probably be a standard behind the neck plate, and then maybe somewhere, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But alright, let me get working on that and we'll see you in a bit. Alright, perfect installation of the 9-volt battery compartment. It's the really cool one. We just put the battery in and it snaps down, so we're good there. Alright, I think we're about ready for the glue phase. Let me see. Yeah, there's a ground wire opening right there, so that'll be fine. Well, let me see that. Get the ground wire for the spring cavity and then get ready for the glue phase. So I'll see, let me get that. Alright, see you shortly. Alright, we are ready for a full-on glue phase. So let me go ahead and glue the top two pieces and the bottom piece together. And once I get that done, I'll check back with you. I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, we are successfully through the glue phase. We are one solid body, and it is looking amazing. Alright, now it's time to start the ugly face part 1. I'm going to go through and fill all the spaces that need filling, and we'll see in a little bit when I do some progress on that. We'll see in a bit. Good morning, it's the 17th of August 2023, and I just want to recap yesterday's progress on the Skull-N-Bonez ML electric guitar build. Had battery issues, so I had to put it on the charger all night long. So ugly face part 1 is in full effect. I got most of the body filler on the body. It looks pretty cool. For today's progress, I want to do the sanding and make everything beautiful and perfect. I love that, how it's the tailbone. And I want to get the input jack dialed in perfectly. I dialed it in on one side, but the other side I want to get some body filler and make it absolutely perfect. And also, what else? Yeah, get that going. And then get the sanding everything, and then rounding and doing all the tweaking of all the, the wood bits, and then go ahead and start doing some fret work, and then get the neck installed and put the strings on and go for a sound test, and then, get the spring cavity, get the springs installed and everything dialed in. So, all right, so let me work on that a little bit, and then once I get I'm gonna get the neck pocket down a little bit more, and then get the input jack like I said, and then we'll move everything outside. All right, we'll see in a little bit. I got the input jack dialed in perfectly. I think that turned out way better than expected. That is just awesome. That's gonna be really cool because the it's gonna be at this angle, the cord going in, so it's gonna be perfect. And I can't wait to figure out the string or the strap button placement. It's gonna be cool. So let me dial in neck pocket a little bit, and I got the neck pocket dialed in perfectly. All right, so let's move everything outside, sand all this, and make it perfect. Get my files out, and then do all the, the contouring bits and everything like that. Make the body perfect. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, got everything moved outside. Let's continue. Do some sanding and make all this beautiful. I was thinking about doing the fingers and Luan, having those extra bits being a little bit higher. Same thing with the thumb, and same thing with these fingers. Just have an extra dimension of cool. So, alright, so let me work on that. Get everything sanded and beautiful. Filled in all the body filler on the back. Let's get this perfectly smooth and prep it, and we'll see in a little bit. Yeah, that turned out really cool. See you in a bit. Quick update. Ugly Phase Part 1 has been completed. And of course, I'll touch up in Ugly Phase Part 2 when I do the wood grain filler. I'll do all the imperfections. But I'm probably not going to do the added Luan on the fingertips. Thought about it, but I think this should be good. And that might just add a little too much contrast. But yeah, I think it turned out really cool. Like I said, I'll perfect everything once I get to that point. The ugly green, or the ugly face part 2. But that turned out really cool. Alright, so the next step's going to be to create some access panel plates. Go ahead and create the spring access panel plate and then the pedometer plate. And I'm not going to countersink them, no need to, because that's not going to be countersunk either, but I think that turned out really cool. All the different continuity bits. And I'm going to perfect, before I get to the paint, primer paint, I'll perfect all the, and try to make all these, make it really realistic looking. So very cool. Alright, so let me get some 1-ply black material if I have any, fingers crossed, and then we'll make some back access panel plates, and then we'll start working on the neck, getting closer to a full-on string test. I can't wait. Alright, let's see it. Had my scroll saw out, I traced out the shapes. I've shown that process before, so I got my 2 shapes. So I'm gonna go ahead and place them where I need, where they fit perfectly, and then install them with some screws, and then countersink the screws. I think I'm going to go with the same size screws that I use, smaller screws. So, alright, and let me get that done, and I'll be right back. Alright, successful installation of the back cover plates, and I think they lined up perfectly. I think they're completely flush and awesome. Perfect. Alright, so let me disassemble and then clean up my mess, and then let's go inside and start doing some fret work. Very cool though. Yeah, we've got a lot done so far. That's pretty killer. Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Another quick update on the finished body inside. Like I said earlier, Ugly Face Part 1 is complete. And you get to see a little bit of the shadows. And I'll do the wood grain filler phase, of course. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty amazing. Pretty sick. Yeah. Pretty cool. I love that 3D. And I'll get everything, of course, dialed in prior to the primer fade, primer coats of paint. But then I'll sand the primer as well. Try to get the finish as best and as good as it could be. Very cool. Now I'll take a little bit of break, grab a bite to eat, and then we'll go ahead and start working on the frets and get all the frets level crowned and polished, and then install the truss rod cover, and then tuning keys, all that good stuff, and then we'll do a full-on string test. So I don't know if I'll get to that today. We'll see. It's mid-afternoon, but yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. Got the input jack dialed in perfectly, so that's going to be amazing. And I still might do the Luan on the fingertips just to give it another dimension. On the fingers, the digits, the skull tips, give it another dimension. But I think it turned out really cool. Alright, hope everybody's having a good Sunday of the week, and we will see you soon. Alright, got everything cleaned up on the inside. Now it's time to work on the neck. Alright, so let me go ahead and straighten the neck. Then we can put some, address the fret ends, my fret end file, and then we'll start the process of leveling, crowning, and polishing the frets. Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Alright, all the fret ends have been addressed. Oh yeah, beautiful. And I taped up all the frets, and the neck is completely straight, of course. I'm going to get a fresh 320 grit sandpaper roll and put level, crown, and polish the frets, and we'll see when I get all that done. See you in a little bit. Alright, all the frets are leveled and remarked. I'm going to go ahead and get my crowning files and go ahead and put a crown on there, and I'll see how to get that all done. Alright, all the frets have been leveled, crowned, and polished. Looking pretty good. Transformation is awesome. Oh yeah, beautiful. Alright. Get everything cleaned up. Take all the fret dust off the neck, and I'll see when I get all that complete. Alright, get everything cleaned up. And the frets look amazing. They feel and play amazing. And this is a raw untreated neck, which I love. But I went through sandpapers. Started at 1000 grit, 2000, 3000, 5000, 7000, all the way up to 10,000 grit. And it just feels amazing. And you can see a little bit of a sheen it gives it too. So yeah, this neck is gonna feel amazing when you're playing it. Yeah, okay, so next step's gonna be to install the nut, and I want to get the proper distance and the proper height. So let me go ahead and get the nut out and start that process. We'll see in a little bit. It's time to install the nut, and the way I like to do it is, let me show you why. I want to get it to the proper height, of course. And right now, initially it's way high. Let me show how I do it. If I can do it this with one hand, maybe not. Need a tripod. Anyway, you take your rocker arm or your rocker, and then you go over 2 frets, and then line up, and you want it just below where the nut, the groove for the string goes. So right in the nut slot. So as you can see, it's way high. So I'm going to go ahead and get my files and take this down to the appropriate height, and then we'll get it in there, and then we'll pre-drill the 2 screws, and then we'll get that installed. Let me file it down. I'll be right back. Successful lowering of the pocket there, and I pre-marked where my holes are going to be for the nut. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead. I got my pre-marked drill bit. I'm going to go ahead and drill down and then install the nut, and I'll be right back. I'm using your standard screws. Alright, so that. Alright, perfect installation of the nut. Very cool. And then I went ahead and took the extra roseman material off with the files and with the X-Acto knife, so cleaned it up real perfect. So when you add the truss rod cover, it's going to look flawless. Alright, let me show you how it turned out. Let's take your rocker, and you can see where it lines up just right there. So, and then if I have to go a little bit lower, I've got room to go lower, but always side on the upper side that way, because you don't want to go too short because you can't put material back, but you could always go back and take off material. So alright, so next step's going to be to go ahead and install the tuning keys, and then once we get that done, then we'll put the truss rod cover on. So yeah, turned out pretty cool. Done up. Awesome. Alright, we'll work on that, and I'll be right back. Alright, very cool. Installed the tuning keys. Looks pretty awesome. Alright, I've got these 2 truss rod covers. I've got the standard Jackson one, and I've got this one. I think I'm going to go with this one. This one's very cool. It's kind of different. So let me go ahead and install the truss rod cover, and I'll be back. Alright, perfect. looks awesome. Alright, very cool. Alright, let's get the body back out and attach the neck back to the body, and I'll see you and then keep going. Alright, got the body back out. Man, I love that body. Oh man, that is so wicked. So bad to the bone, literally. Alright, let me connect the neck to the body. Before I attach the neck back to the body, I'm going to go ahead and install the bridge and the springs and get all that situated. So let me go ahead and work on that, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, got the bridge installed, got the springs, and I'm ready to, I pre-marked where I'm going to drill out for the spring claw and the spring claw. Just 2 screws that go to that, and I've got my pre-marked drill bit, and I've got my marks on the back of the cavity there. So let me go ahead and drill them out, and fingers crossed that all goes well. I'll see you in a bit. Alright, perfect installation of the bridge. Got the spring and the claw installed, and when I tighten it up, I've got the lower, so I don't have to worry about it being, it's going to be flush perfect. But yeah, it looks pretty good so far. Alright. Ooh, it's always stressful because you don't want to mess this part up. This part's crucial. So, alright, so let me install the neck to the body, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, perfect installation of the neck. It looks very killer. And I like the fact that it's a Jackson style headstock on a Dean style body shape. Or, dime bag anyway. Yeah, very cool. Kind of gives it like a little bit of a curve. So, alright, so next step's going to be to slap a couple of E strings on there, my high E, my low E, and see how we did. See if everything lines up perfect in the center. But yeah, it looks very cool. I mean, you can see in the mirror, it's very cool. Alright, let me get the strings installed, and I'll see you in a sec. Alright, very cool. Got both these strings installed, and we are dead center. So that is just awesome. And I think we're good as far as intonation. I guess I'm just getting pretty good at this, but or not intonation, but action. You can see, once I get all the strings on, it's going to pull it, and I'm going to go down a little bit, and it's going to be perfect. Adjust the truss rod and all that. So yeah, alright, when we get the rest of the strings on there, and we'll see it. Alright, very cool. I've got all the strings installed. That looks pretty awesome. Alright, let me clean up all my non-essential mess, and then we'll try to do a string test. Get it dialed in, get everything close to where it should be. But yeah, it looks pretty killer. I gotta say, I'm really digging it. Wow. It's so cool. Loving it. Wow. Another one. Another favorite. I just love that. That is so cool. Can't wait to get some paint on here. It's just so cool. Amazing! Alright, I got it pretty much in tune. A brand new string. It's going to stretch a little bit, and I've got to retune it because I just stretched the strings a little bit. But let's see. Just wanted to give you a basic sound demonstration. Very cool. Turned out very cool as always. Let me get it in tune real quick. Just 1 second. And I'm not able to intonate because this little tuner I've got here, it really doesn't want to pick up very much. Says we're fairly in tune. So I didn't put the strap buttons. I'll do the strap buttons tomorrow. I am super tired. I've been at it all day, but I'm gonna have to cut the nut, lower the nut just a little bit more. I mean, it's good, but I want to get it just a little closer. Yeah, strings definitely stretch. Gonna let it sit overnight. Access the highest frets very easily. No, no inhibition at all. Yeah, definitely stretching. Especially these bends in the strings. Alright, I'll do a full-on string sound test tomorrow, a better one, when I'm rested and it's had time to stretch and adjust. Just wanted to show you real briefly though. Long day though, we got a lot accomplished, so very cool. All right, we will let it settle overnight, and then I will do a full-on string test, a good one, like I said, when I'm rested, and figure out the strap buttons. That's going to be very interesting to figure out, but I mean, to see it on the strap, you know. Very cool shape though. Alright, hope everybody had a good day. Thanks for watching this pretty long, a lot of the work that I did today, but very cool. Yeah. As you can see, a spring cavity. I can add another spring if I need to, but it's dialed in and got room for more adjustment. It's going to be very cool with the EMG81. Alright, and we'll see you soon. Very cool. One more quick update. I just wanted to show you. Ooh, conclusion of the work today. Very cool. Looks pretty awesome. Get everything dialed in perfectly before we start the paint process, but yeah, it looks very killer. Alright. And we'll talk to you soon. Good morning, the 20th of October 2023. Time to continue work on the Skull-N-Bonez ML electric guitar build. I've got it dialed in. I've reset the nut. I lowered a couple saddles there, made it perfect. Adjusted all the springs, everything like that. Eliminated anything that was obstructing the springs or rubbing against the springs, so that way there's no spring noise when you're using it. Got it somewhat pretty much dialed in as far as intonation and everything like that goes. I was able to intonate. But I'll do a full-on string test and a sound demonstration playing demo here in a little bit. But first, you have to figure out the strap buttons. So let's go ahead and install the strap buttons on this beautiful guitar. So, another thing too, I've decided that I am going to do the Luan on the fingers. I'm going to add some Luan pieces. We'll get to that a little bit later. But make the finger bits stick out, especially on these ones, because it just kind of flows better if it has a little bit more height to it. So let's go ahead and figure out strap button location. I've decided probably, as usual, in the back of the neck plate. Then I'm guessing like somewhere in this area. I'm going to go ahead and try install one right there. see how it goes, see how it, how it hangs on the strap. So let's do that, and I'll see you in a bit. Got my tools, and I'll see you when I get that. All right. All right, perfect installation of the strap buttons. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I changed the camera angle just a little bit. I had to plug it in so it's on the plug. Let's see. And of course, strings will still stretch. All right. Very cool. Still stretching as always, but all right. And I think it's settled all it's gonna settle, so I don't think I need to wait anymore. So the next step is going to be to dismantle the complete guitar. And I decided I'm going to go with a little bit lesser gauge of string. I'm going to go with 10 to 46s probably. And it just brings down the string tension just a hair. I mean, it's pretty good now. But if it had just a hair bit less string tension, I think it would play so much better. I mean, it plays awesome now. It reached the highest 24th fret. But I like the string tension to be comparable. And I'll get everything else dialed in perfectly. Yeah, but this is definitely going to be a shredder guitar. And it looks really cool. And see the strap button placement like I showed you? The one on the back of the neck plate and then right there. And I'll show you that more when I get it off. When I take it off, I'll show you again before we go to the stripping it down and start the paint process. Feels really good. All that polishing, all that sanding I did on the back of the neck, it's just amazing. Yep, stretching, but and I pretty much eliminated any spring noise. There's a little bit of spring noise, just one spring. I gotta clear just a hair, a little bit of material behind the bottom spring. But I think 3 strings will be enough when I go to the a little bit lesser gauge string. Yep, stretching. Well, that's fine though. Definitely a shredder guitar, like I said. But let me show you the strap button location and how the springs are set right now. Yeah, very cool. But yeah, see when I lessen the when I go with a little bit lighter gauge strings, I'll have this spring claw will come just a little bit further towards that, and that's fine. I mean, it's got plenty of room now for intonation, but it's getting on the higher edge. So very cool. Alright, and I'll start working on the finger bits and getting those looking like bones and digits. Add that extra piece. We'll do that today. And then maybe we'll get to the ugly phase part 2. We'll start laying the layers of wood grain filler. And then maybe we can sand it tomorrow, weather permitting. And then maybe we can get some primer coats on here and start the paint process. But yeah, it's going pretty good. I think it turned out very wicked. So very cool. Let me turn the camera around and give it one last look over before we dismantle it. I'll probably jam on it before I do that, but all right, we'll see. Very cool. Strap button placement, perfect right there, and neck plate as always, so that's very cool. All right, so we're ready for ugly phase part 2. So let me clean up all my mess and then get everything dismantled, and then we'll get ready for some wood grain filler. All right, hope everybody's having a good weekend, and we will see you in a bit. It's been some time. I've got everything dismantled. I dialed in a few places on the wood on the top, added some dimension. Instead of doing the luan, I decided to do the digits just a little bit higher on this hand. That way it kind of matches the back hand. Alright, so time for the ugly face part 2, and basically it's going to be the wood grain filler, and I'm going to fill all the mainly going to concentrate on the back and sides. I'm going to do a little bit of wood grain filler on the front, but I'm going to more or less keep the texture. You know, when I spray the primer coats, the flat black primer and paint, I'll sand and touch up as needed on the front, but I'm going to be painting the white, flat white, and it's going to be cool. I'm going to kind of imitate the way the Mr. Scary guitar is painted, to where the whole thing's not painted, just it's going to be really cool. I'm going to try to imitate that kind of paint. So alright, so let me mix up a fresh batch of the plastic wood, of course, cut it with water, and then start applying layers to the back and sides, and we'll see when I get some progress done. Alright, got the first layer of wood grain filler on the back and sides, and it's looking like it should. Ugly phase part 2 is in full effect. Alright, we'll let this dry, and then we'll keep applying layers. Probably get about 5, 6, 7 layers on there, make it perfect as possible. So we'll see you a little bit later. Take it easy. See you later. Alright, another quick update. Woo! Finally completed all the layers. Still got a little bit of drying left to do. But yeah, got the top, the back, and the sides complete. And then I even did the front of the headstock with the wood grain filler. And it's going to be very cool. I missed a spot. Hold on a second. See, I try to get every nook and cranny. That way, when I go to paint, the paint adheres to everything without absorbing into the wood, because this will prevent that. This fills the pores. That way, like I said, when I go to paint the body, the paint will, you know, all the pores already be filled with the wood grain filler, and then all the paint will be able to glide right on top, and it'd be perfect. But I'll go through and sand all this, of course, and make it perfect. I left a few spots for the texture purposes, but yeah. And I bought a really cool airbrush specifically to start using airbrush on my builds, and I want to start on this guitar with the airbrush, and I'm gonna try to imitate the I've got the ESP JFrog. See how this is airbrushed? I want to try to imitate that look on this body. So yeah, see, this is what I'm going for when I get the airbrush. And what I'll do is I'll brush on the white, and then I'll go through with the black, and then airbrush all the shadows, and it'll blend flawlessly. But yeah, looks pretty cool. Whew, I've been at it all day again, but yeah, it's gonna be so amazing. Alright, hope everybody's having a good night. Hope you had a good weekend. Start fresh tomorrow, Monday, and we'll continue work, and we'll see you soon. Alright, take it easy. Very cool. Ugly phase part 2. Ugly. Good morning, 21st of August 2023. Time to continue work on the Skull-N-Bonez ML guitar build. All the base coats of body filler have been applied. Ugly face part 2, and it is looking very ugly. I'm going to show you how it looks prior to the sanding process. Going to sand all this and make it perfect and beautiful, and then put it on a hanger. And then we've got some flat black primer. Yeah, hopefully we'll get that. So that's going to take a while, quite a bit, to get it dialed in perfectly. But again, I just wanted to show you real quick how transformation. This is the Phoenix from the ashes moment of every guitar build, where the rough body becomes really cool. Alright, we'll see when it gets the progress done. See you in a bit. Alright, ugly phase part 2 has pretty much passed. I'm going to refine it just a little bit here and there, and then we're going to put on a hanger and then put some base coats of primer flat, and I left some of the texture just to make it look really cool. I think it's going to be awesome. Yeah, but we got the back and sides sanded perfectly. Very cool. Alright, got to get that a little bit there. It's going to look cool. So we go ahead and put some primer. I'll put on a hanger and then put some primer, and we'll see in a little bit. Alright, we're on the hanger. We are ready for some primer coats. Let me show you real quick. Again. Yeah, I'll blow it off again, and then we'll apply some primer, and we'll see on the other side of that. Very cool. Awesome. Alright, the body turned out amazing. I got it hanging inside for a little while, letting the paint fully cure a little bit, but time to work on the front of the headstock. I'm going to sand this smooth and then apply some, tape it up, and then apply some base color paints of flat black. Alright, see you in a little bit. Alright, perfect application of the paint. Looks pretty awesome. It's got to dry. It'll dry flat black, but it looks pretty good. Alright, we'll let that dry. I'm going to show you the body in a bit. Let that dry a little more. Alright, another quick update. I've got the body inside the house now, and the paint's had time to dry, and I think it turned out really cool. Yeah, very cool. Alright, let me set the phone down so I can grab the other hand. Hold on. Alright, just wanted to show you how it looks. Very cool. And then we'll let this dry for a few days, and then we'll start applying the white base color paints. Very cool. And I could look over this in a day or so and see if I want to sand it and go for another round of paint, but it does look pretty good, I think. Especially since I'm going for a little bit of a textured look. So, alright. Awesome. This concludes progress on the Skull-N-Bonez ML electric guitar build, and we'll see you soon. Very cool. Alright, how's everybody doing? 25th of August 2023. Just wanted to show you a quick update on the Skull-N-Bonez ML electric guitar build. First layers of white base coats have been applied, and it's looking pretty cool. Yeah, and I'll let this dry for a day or so, and then we'll keep layering on the white. And then once I get the white how I need it, then I'll go ahead with the airbrush and blend everything and feather all the parts in. So, but it's looking pretty cool. I'm digging that. That is just amazing. Of course, you gotta have the gold tooth on there. But very cool. Alright, just a quick video update. Hope everybody's doing good. Entering the weekend. Very cool. It looks amazing. Very cool. Alright, and we'll see you in a little while. Morning, August 27, 2023, and it's time to continue work on the Skull-N-Bonez ML electric guitar build. Recently purchased a really kind of cheap, only like $37 on Amazon, airbrush. And I'm going to go ahead and try to spray some shadowing airbrushes. Here's the dog. Similar to the George Lynch Mr. Scary guitar on the body. Let me get everything set up outside, and I'll see you in a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be very cool. And I've looked at many pictures of shadings of skeletons and kind of did a little prep work of what I got planned. Took a bunch of pictures of different varieties of George Lynch's guitars and the shading processes, and we'll see how it goes. I've got me some flat black mixed with thinned out with some primer, or not primer, but paint thinner. And I'm going to use this concoction. I'm going to let it settle. All the accelerant is out of it. And then we're going to add a little bit to one of these cups. Never really airbrushed before, so this is going to be very new for me. So, but hopefully the results will be really cool. Now I'm thinking about if the results end up really well, I'm going to redo the first Skull-N-Bonez guitar with the shading also. Alright, so let me get everything set up and we'll see you in a bit. Alright, we are outside. I just wanted to show you all the base colors of white, which is pretty cool actually by itself. I actually did really consider leaving this just like this without any airbrushing because I thought it looked pretty cool. Turned out very cool. In the back bits, let me show you. Yeah, very cool. Like that. Well, I'm going to try to make most of this really dark on the back because I've seen that's the way they were on the George Lynch guitars. But yeah, very cool. And then start applying some layers. I'm trying to think where I'm going to start first. First time, a little bit nervous. But I'm going to maybe start working on some of these vertebrae first. But I'll see when I get some progress done. But yeah, very cool. Alright, we'll see in a little bit. Alright, finished with the airbrush bits, and I think I'm finished with the overall paint. Are you ready for the big reveal? Alright, and here we are. Wow, that looks so killer. First attempt at the airbrushing, so a few spots are a little but overall I am happy. Very cool. Let me get the light. See if I can bring it over here with the better light. That's okay. There we go. Alright. Very cool. Yeah, the sun definitely brings out the bright spots. Very cool. Working on my skills, my airbrush skills, of course, but yeah, I like the way I did the finger bits on the side, and then the gold tooth, if you recall. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. Awesome. All right, so we'll let this cure, and then I'll work on the headstock logo, and then we'll be good to go for assembly. So considered putting some 2K matte clear over everything, but that might not be necessary. I'll decide that later on, but yeah, in a day or so. But that's very cool. All right, and we'll just work on the headstock logo, and I'm thinking about just doing the spray paint with the airbrush on the white, because that way I can control how much comes out and really get a good. But yeah, very cool. All right. This will probably conclude progress today on the ML Skull-N-Bonez. We'll see you soon. Alright, time to work on the logo. I've reversed taped the logo on the headstock. Alright, let me apply some flat white paint. Fingers crossed it all goes well. We'll see you when I get the logo installed. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright, successful with the paint application. Let me slowly peel it off. Fingers crossed. Alright, successful application of the logo. Looks pretty awesome. Yeah. Alright, so the next step's going to be to let this cure overnight. And then probably tomorrow morning we'll start assembly. Can't wait. We'll see you in a little bit. Very cool. Good evening, everyone. It is the 27th of August. Still 2023. And it's time to continue work on the Skull-N-Bonez ML electric guitar build. I've decided we're gonna assemble this guitar today. I have had about several hours for the paint to cure, and I think we're good to go with the touch-up paint. I think this paint dries very quickly and seems out with such thin layers. But yeah, just wanted to show you again how awesome the paint turned out. Very cool. Yeah, it's just awesome. Very amazing. I can't wait to hear this guitar with the pickup, EMG 81 pickup in the bridge. It's going to be so amazing. So I got all my tools. Dogs are hot. So, alright, so the first step's going to be to actually mount the pickup. So let's go ahead and figure out the pickup, mount the pickup, and then we'll get that going, and I'll see you in a little bit, but very cool. That's awesome. And that did turn out very similar to the Skull-N-Bonez. That's what I was going for. Alright, we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, very cool installation of the pickup, and it already looks pretty awesome. It went pretty smooth. Alright, so let me think. Let me go ahead and install the bridge posts real quick and get them settled, and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, very, very cool. Alright, now it's time to go ahead and get the input jack wired up and go ahead and install that real quick. Got it right here. Very cool. Loving this. Wow. This has got to be my favorite build so far. I mean, I know I say that almost every build, but wow, that is just so cool. Alright, let me get the input jack going and then we'll see in a bit. Alright, got the input jack wired up. So I'm going to go ahead and feed the wires through the pot cavity, and then I'll screw it in. Alright, we'll see in a little while. Alright, perfect installation of the input jack. Pretty sweet. And I fished the wires through, and we are good to go. Alright, so let me guess the next step. Let me figure out the next step. Be right back. Okay, let me go ahead and install the bridge and the springs lightly, loosely, and then the claw. And we'll get all that going on, and we'll see in a bit. Very cool. It's looking awesome. It's just so cool. This is my favorite build I've done. I'm gonna have to do more shapes like this. This is the second one, and I probably will do the other guitar with the shadowing from the airbrush. I think it looks so much better. But all right, we'll see. All right, got the springs installed and the bridge on the other side installed. Got all the wires through. Just me blowing on it here, a little bit of my saliva. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and install the 9-volt battery compartment, and I'll see you when I get that done. Alright, perfect installation and 9-volt battery compartment. Looks pretty good. Alright, so let me, potentiometer, let me get that pre-wired, and then we'll start the wiring process. This should be a straightforward active pickup wiring, pretty easy. Alright, so I'll see you when I get all that done. See you in a bit. Alright, got everything wired up, looking pretty good. Alright, let me push it through and install the potentiometer, and then install the knob, and then we'll do a full-on sound test. Alright, we're getting there. Alright, got the potentiometer pulled through and installed. Go ahead and install the 9-volt battery, flip it over, and we'll do a sound test. Alright, very cool. I've got the hot lead. I plugged it in because it needs, it's a little tight, so I need both hands. But and I installed the knobs. That looks pretty awesome, and I think that's going to be perfect and not in the way. I won't be bumping it or anything with my hand because it's far enough away. So very cool. All right, as per usual, let's start with the volume all the way down. We shouldn't get anything. All right, which we don't. Volume all the way up. All right, successful. It sounds like both coils. Yep, active pickup is active, and the EMG 81 is firing with full signal. So all right, perfect. So let me flip it over, and then we'll get the back cover plates on there. And let me show you. We're gonna do the carpet trick. What you do is when you cut brand new, like I cut these two brand new, remember? When we did that process, and see how the edges are sharp, what I'm gonna do is round the edges. So on shag carpet or any kind of thicker carpet, you go ahead and you You rub it and you actually melt and round. So let me show you how it looks before I do both of them. And then let me go in the other room where there's some shag carpet, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, very cool. This is after the carpet trick. Very cool. It rounds and radishes, and you kind of angle it so it kind of flattens it towards the front. So very cool. So let me install the potentiometer cover, and then we'll start working on the neck. Alright, let me see that. Very cool. Let me go hang up the body and get the neck out, and then we'll install the nut and the tuning keys. Alright, we'll see when I get a little bit. I cleaned up my non-essentials, got the neck back out. Go ahead and install the tuning keys and the nut. Remember we did the logo. Alright, very cool. We'll see in a little while. Alright, got the nut and the tuning keys installed. I think the logo placement was dead on perfect. That is awesome. Alright, so let's get the body back out here, and let's get these two together as always. Tradition. Alright, we'll see in a little while. Alright, got the body off the hanger, and as per tradition, we got them two together. Alright, I'm going to reattach the neck to the body. Fingers crossed. Hopefully nothing goes wrong, but you just never know. So, alright, hope it goes smooth, and we'll see in a while. Alright, very cool. Successful reattachment from the neck to the body. And it was very uneventful, which is always a good thing. But wow. I just absolutely love this guitar. This is by far my favorite. I have to say, this is my favorite. How it turned out is just, wow. That's so cool. Okay, next step's gonna be to install my two E strings and see how we are as far as the alignment. Hopefully everything stayed the same and didn't shift at all. But yeah, wow. I just put the bar on there real quick. Just look at it. It's just, oh, that's so very cool. Alright, so, and like I said earlier, in an earlier video, we went with a little bit of a lighter string. Normally it's my, I go from 10 to 52. I think it's like 10, it's like starts at 52, then goes to 46, goes to 30, 17, 13, and then 10. But this one is a little bit lighter, so you can go ahead and install my two E strings, and I'll see you when I get that finished. But very cool. Got my two E strings installed. Let me get the rest of the string installed, and then install the strap buttons, and I'll see you in a little while. Alright, very cool. I got all the string installed, and everything is going very smooth and flawless so far. Alright, so let me get everything up to pitch, get a sound test going, and I'll meet you back for the sound test. Very cool. Install strap buttons, let me do that, and we'll see you in a while. Alright, very cool. I installed the spring cavity cover, installed strap buttons, all the rest of the bits and bobbins, like the English people like to say. And I got it dialed in, sounding, playing amazing. Let it settle for a little bit, and then I'll do a full-on sound demonstration for you. But yeah, it turned out really wicked. That is just so killer. Wow. So let me let this settle for, I don't know, an hour or two, whatever, and then let the string stretch out a little bit, and then we'll do another full-on string sound test. Yeah, EMG sounds amazing like always. You know, the EMGs are just amazing pickups. I'm old school, I like that. Oh, I installed the truss rod cover too, so looks very cool. Yeah, perfect position for the logo. Turned out really good. Yep, action's dialed in. Plenty of intonation to go up and down in the bridge bridge posts. So very cool, very cool. And this has got I've made a spot for my guest of honor, my newest invention, with another guitar very similar. So let me put it up there, and then I'll. Alright, very cool. I've got the guitar with its brother, the Mr. Scary guitar. Yeah, very cool. And I had a question, the tint of the paint. I kind of like the bleached bone look. I mean, I do like the yellow bone look too, but alright, so we'll let this hang there for a while, let the string stretch out, everything get adjusted. But it was very cool. Very cool indeed. Alright. we'll see you in a while. Very cool. The Skull-N-Bonez ML guitar is born. Very cool. We'll see you later. Alright, good morning everybody. It is the 28th of August 2023. It's the next day, and I let the guitar settle overnight, and I had it, I got it dialed in. Intonation is set. Like I said before, earlier in a past video, this is going to be a complete shredder guitar. Very cool looking guitar. Bad to the bone, literally. And per usual, I figured we'd do a cover song to hear how it sounds and plays. And this morning, let's do some Metallica, Master of Puppets. Yeah! Let's see how rusty I can be with this song. But alright, and then I'll show you in depth. So let's get Master of Puppets. Anyway, sorry about the sloppy rendition of. Oh, my fingers are still dry. You're so sad. All that, and the strings are still pretty much in tune. start stretching in. Still in tune. If battery allow, let's do one more cover. Let's do some Papa Roach. What do you think? Check this out. Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Very cool indeed. And that'll conclude the sound test just for now. We'll let this settle for, like I said, a day or two. And then we'll do a full-on sound demonstration again. But yeah, I'm so happy with the way this guitar turned out. And like I said in an earlier video, this is probably one of my favorite guitar builds. Just because the paint turned out so well. And everything just worked out in this guitar build. It was kind of like the concept drawing. If you follow this guitar build from the beginning, just the the actual concept from online, where I found pictures and decided that I wanted to recreate this really cool guitar. And instead of doing it like a Dean headstock guitar with the ML shape, I had decided to go with a Jackson headstyle shape. And I think overall it's very unique, and it turned out, and it's different. It's just awesome. Let's see if I can get a really close up. So thanks again for watching this kind of long demonstration video, but I just waking up, get my fingers, get the blood flowing. Always takes a little while before I start to play absolutely perfect. Been a musician for quite a long time, but your body needs the rust to kind of knock off the rust the first thing in the morning, but then after you start flowing, it's good to go. But alright, thanks again, and I'll be posting some more demonstration videos on this really cool guitar. Yeah, the plastics are really awesome. So, hope everybody's having a good start of the week. It's Monday, and got a few more projects in the works that I can't wait to share with you. But thanks again for everybody that follows me on these social media pages. I really do appreciate it. And if you got this far in the video, I thank you so much. You're a true warrior. So, alright. Have a good day, and we will see you soon.